Happy Labor Day, everybody! For those of you that are watching, what's going on? How you doing, old man?
Hey, everything's great here, and happy Labor Day to everybody as well.
Oh boy, oh boy! Well, I don't know about you, but this week is gonna be pretty interesting because we got football, college football just started.
Okay, okay.
NFL starts this week. It's gonna be a busy week. So
I hadn't even, wow.
yeah,
I'm so
Thursday.
out of it. I didn't even know that. Okay,
Yeah, Thursday.
okay.
Thursday started the NFL. Um, but I hope you all enjoyed last week's episode. It was kind of it was an interesting topic. It was um we appreciate all the feedback, and we'll probably do something like that again in the not immediate future, but in the future, more than likely. A little bit more interesting. But for today, we're talking about forgiveness, and it's a pretty interesting thing to try to man up and do is forgive. It's easier just to be angry or spiteful or whatever. At least how I see it, it's easier to do that than to forgive somebody that could potentially, just do the same thing again or whatnot. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'll let you go ahead and say what you
No,
got to say
no,
because you sound like you wanted
no.
to say something that.
No. I'm gonna make this disclaimer. I'm gonna forgive you for the past things you misspoke probably or didn't get right, and I'm gonna forgive you today for the things you're gonna do today that's gonna probably be off compared to the old school method. But no. All jokes aside, yeah, forgiveness is a touchy subject, and it's based on everybody's personal um experiences.
Mm,
Tact for yourself. If you experience certain things in a traumatizing way, you're gonna take it differently than maybe I would. So
right, right, 100%. And I really don't think it's necessarily about right and wrong per se. I mean, it could be a whole bunch of different things for like forgiveness. Um, but it seems like the majority of things that happen are squabbles, for the most part, between two people or um mostly two people like dating and everything like that. Usually that's what I see that it revolves around. It's two people fighting over someone and they're friends or some nonsense like that or whatever the case may be. But I haven't really seen a whole lot of like for instance like ones where businesses do you wrong and you can't really forgive a business if they let you go. You know, like, you know what I mean, like that's not really a right or wrong kind of thing, and that I guess that's what I'm referring to as far as the right and wrong. They had to downsize and unfortunately your department had to go, so I mean, if you want to forgive them, you can, but you don't really have to because it's a business at the end of the day. So I guess it would fall in that category. I'm not really sure.
yeah, I'm like right around like tact. Right or wrong is determined by the person.
Right.
Because the person is forgiving,
Right.
is the one doing the action. So for like you said, it's not basically a right or wrong, it's a choice. Uh, you can choose to do it or choose not to do it. It's up to you. For me, it's probably determined by what it is.
Hmm.
Um, I know eventually I will have to get there, but that's not necessarily something that happens immediate. And it's not really a right or wrong. It's a time and a growth.
Right. And the- I mean, and as far as like who it could, well, hmm.
What is it? What is forgiveness?
I mean, it's a number of different things. There's no finite, like, well, there is of course a definition of what it means like in the Webster's
Right,
dictionary, but
right,
it's different for different people. Like it can. It can be, hey, you did me wrong or whatever, and I forgive you for that. Or um, I told you this secret, and you told everybody. I can, something like it. Just I look at it more like betrayal of trust or a betrayal of an agreement between people. That's how I would look at it as far as what it would be uh, for me.
Yeah, yeah, and that's I agree with that. That's outside of me. So, but there's a difference when you got to forgive yourself. So, did you portray yourself? Did you do something that you feel that you need forgiveness for? And that's a different type of forgiveness. And I hold more weight to that forgiveness, but it's still along those lines. It's something that's been wronged, or action or a reaction to an action that either you personally have to accept responsibility, forgive yourself for, or just grow from, or somebody else did it to you and you have to do the same thing as well.
Right. And I don't really know. I mean, I guess if you're forgiving, I guess it would help the person that hurt you. I guess. I mean, I'm not really keen on who it helps. I mean, it could help you find closure, I suppose, if there's a beef or something. I mean, you may not be friends with that person anymore or whatever the case may be, but at least you don't have to worry about it, even though I don't think you would if you didn't forgive them. It's just sometimes you don't have to forgive somebody to not have it help you. Like you can, I mean, of course it may weigh heavy on that person that you're not forgiving, but at the same time, it's like why would you care? You know what I mean? Like if you're at that point,
I see your
um,
point there. But tag, this is how I look at it. So if I'm somebody did something to me and they know it was wrong, I know they wronged me, and I could be bitter about it, which adds tension. You got these anger issues. And then you got to really look at it. That person is living their life. They're living their best life. But I'm the one got the anger. I'm the one holding the resentment. I'm the one holding this built up frustration against this person for wronging me. So why should I live like that?
mm,
So it's better for me to forgive them, let it go, but deal with them differently. But go to them and address it with them, so it's on them, and maybe they will ask for my forgiveness.
but at
That
the
that that's how it helps the person. I think for me.
But at the same time, though, I mean, you don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to forgive the person. You just like whatever, just move on. It's not necessarily the
It's
same.
great if you could do that. It's
Yeah,
great,
yeah. I'm saying that's
but
just
a
the
lot of
time,
people can't.
right?
A lot of people can't do that. I can't do that. I mean, I can work through it, but I can't just totally, because I'll every time I see that person, I'll know that that person wronged me, and they're acting like it didn't happen.
I mean, then you just act like they don't exist. So it's just like you don't have to sit there and be cordial with the person. Well, I'm looking at it like if they did you wrong, you don't want to forgive them. You just want to move on, whatever. You don't have to talk to the person. You don't have to acknowledge them. You don't have to do anything. If you want to be cordial, that's fine. That's on you. You don't have to go to the same areas, or especially if like you live in a big city, you don't have to trek to the same areas. You may see that person maybe once every 6 months.
What if it's family?
If it's family, I mean that is a totally different thing because it depends on your family dynamic. I mean, there could be family members you just like you don't see. There could be family members you don't see for an extended period of time, or they don't have any impact on your life whatsoever. And then they do something, and it's not going to make you feel some kind of way because they weren't there to begin with, if that makes sense.
But like you said, yeah, that works, but it doesn't work on every
Oh yeah,
situation.
100%.
Right,
But
right.
I'm just looking at it like
Because sometimes they're in your household, you can't just throw them out. You
Yeah.
know, it might be your child, it might be your wife, it might be some, it might be internal,
Mm.
and you just can't dismiss them like I'm not going to see them.
Yeah, but I'm that's different when you're dealing with somebody on a constant basis. I was referring to more so like maybe a friend you had falling out with or something like that. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking out not from the internal for I'm looking more so the external. But the internal, it's totally different. You have to try to hash it out. I mean, depending on who it is. Uh, wife and kids, wife
Depending on
kids.
who it is, tell me, what do you mean depending on who it is?
Like
Who?
it could be like I said, that person that hasn't had any impact on your life whatsoever. Like you be a 30 something year old man, and here comes
Yeah,
a cousin that
right,
you saw when you were 2 years old.
right, right, right.
You know what I mean? Like
What
it's
weight? What weight do they hold?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I can see that.
that's what I'm getting at. Like I said, it's different when it's wife, kids, immediate family. That's something totally different. You got to work through it
Right.
or whatever. But distant family, distant, friends that you have fallen out with, associates,
Mhm.
whatever, they shouldn't hold a light to your what's the phrase? A light to your candle. They shouldn't hold a light to your candle, something like that. They should have
Right.
there should be no impact whatsoever on your life. Um
But that don't
so
mean that they can't wrong you though.
No, they definitely can. But what I'm saying is, if they
Okay.
wronged you, then just like okay, whatever, move on. Like if they, you don't have to sit there and worry yourself about addressing it or trying to forgive them if they don't have an impact. Like it'd be different if it's like a best friend and then you have a falling out. That's something totally different. But like a friend who maybe you see in passing, you hang out every once in a while, you're not really close, or people like that. That's what I'm getting at. Like people that
Okay.
you haven't put in the time with, essentially. The,
Okay. So when you dismiss them, so you're saying you're not forgiving them.
that's not a matter of not forgiving them. It's just like I'm not gonna sit here and worry about it. I got other things to do. So just focus on doing me. Like if that explains it, it's not
But
it's not
but
not
forgive
forgiving
them.
them. It's just you're not addressing the. I mean, I guess if you want to be nitpicky about it, you're not forgiving them, but at the same time, you're doing your thing. You don't have to address it per se. You just okay, move on.
But we're talking about forgiveness.
Mm,
So or not forgiving. So that is a not forgiving.
mm-hmm.
Is that correct? What I'm
I mean, like I said,
surmising.
if you want to be technical about it, then yeah, it would fall in that category. But if you don't have to, I'm looking at it like when if you're forgiving you because what you were saying earlier, building up on that
Mhm. Yeah,
frustration and everything like that. But if
that's
you're
right.
just like whatever, just like water off a duck's back, just just keep it moving, do your own thing or whatever. You're not really concerned about it, so there's no need to think about it as far as trying to forgive the person.
Yeah, and you know what? The way you're saying it and the way you're presenting it right now, I can see that as a form of forgiving. Is saying, okay, I just write it off. You know, I dismiss it. I'm gonna let it go. But if you treat him differently, if you handle that person differently, did you really forgive him?
You don't necessarily have to be around that person to begin with if they did you wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like
That's right. That's right.
if they did you wrong,
Say in a situation where you have no control over.
right, right.
Well, you always got some control, but like you say, well, we got a family gathering and so is going to be there,
You be
and then you'll
cordial.
probably
You be
say,
cordial.
you
Just
say, no, I'm
right.
not going.
No, you just
Yeah,
be cordial. Hey, how you doing? And move on. Go
right.
talk to other people. And just be cordial at the family gathering. It is what it is.
Okay, okay. So being cordial is well, we could look at it as different levels of forgiveness. How
Mm,
about that? Is
I can agree with
a
that.
first, stage one is being cordial. The top is it's like it never happened.
Right. But wouldn't I think the top would be being cordial and then stage one is like it never happened. Because cordial, you on the verge of I look at it like if you're cordial, you would punch the person in
Right.
the throat. Like, so like that's how I look at it.
This,
Mhm.
right.
Like
Okay.
if you're cordial, you're just holding back from like cursing that person out or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Um, stage one, just be like whatever. Like, okay.
Tack is talking violence. He's talking like chopping the throat.
Look,
Stage-
there's I'm
right,
sure
right.
there's people that are out
Oh
there that
yes,
may be listening that have been to that level of
I have
where
both hands up. Yes, that's
like something happened to them and they're like, I put the hands on you. And
that's right.
so when you see that
But I
person,
don't want to go to jail.
right, you see that
But
person and you
I
just
want.
cordial with them because you already know what would happen. So
That's right. That's right.
I know everybody's done it. I've done it, and you just said you've done it. I'm sure
Well, yes,
other people that are
absolutely, absolutely.
listening.
If you live long enough, it will happen. It will happen. Somebody will wrong you in that way to the point where hopefully that doesn't happen to everyone, but I'm pretty sure if you live long enough, it will.
Right. And so that's why I'm just like, okay, you be cordial. You don't have to say anything.
Mhm.
You don't have to acknowledge the person. Let them sit
Mhm.
there. I look at it like let them sit there and think about, oh, what's going on? Like, was the like you do that. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one of these days, like you sit there and let them
Yeah,
think that they're mad at you or something. And you living your
right.
best life. That's
And that's the thing you just said, living your best life. That's why the forgiveness is important, in the aspect of people moving on.
mhm.
It's you living your best life because you don't want to bottle up stuff. I just still don't think that's a good for you as a person or your health.
Mhm.
So it's but it comes sometimes where it's certain things you just feel that you can't forgive.
Right.
Attack. Do you see things? I know I have things that I probably would
I mean, things that you can't forgive.
behaviors, whatever, whatever.
It's
That, and we don't have to dress
I
on
think
specifics. We could just do how would we handle that behavior, or some that
well, I mean,
forgiveness.
it's we got to talk about what behaviors can you not forgive, and I think the main, like I said, I think the main one that is probably the most prominent between like friends is like um what the introduction of the opposite gender. Like if you're talking to someone and you think it's going well, and then she's like, "No, I like your friend," and then you got to sit there and it's like you got to sit there, you got to sit there and just watch that happen.
More than not, that happens more than not.
I think that's probably one of the bigger ones. Um, of course,
But hold on, Tack, real quick on that. Say, is it that she likes your friend, or your friend and her are dealing behind your back?
a little bit of both. A little
Okay,
bit of
okay,
both. I
okay.
mean, it depends on
Because it's really not his fault that she likes him now.
right,
That's
right,
not
but
on
it
him.
depends on the situation. Like if you've already told the friend, it's like, hey, I like this girl I'm talking to, or whatever the case may be, and he goes in and he starts wheeling and dealing, then it's just like, is he really? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you're gonna feel some kind of way about it. You're gonna feel like slighted. It's just like I just told you, I like this chick, and you're over here. So I think that's a big one. I mean, and infidelity, I think is another big one for a lot of people. Um,
Mhm.
there's not really let's see, behaviors. I mean, me personally, like I've gotten over the whole people being racist thing. I
Right.
think
Oh
that's
yeah.
one that some people might, be upset about, but I'd rather you be I'd rather
Open
you
about it.
be open about it than sit there
That's
and try
right.
to tiptoe around it. So that way I know what
That's
kind of
right.
person you are.
That's right.
Um,
You
but yeah,
know.
those are like the major ones, at least from my experiences and what I've seen. There's not really a whole lot that like would happen to me. I'm just looking at it from my perspective, or things that
Absolutely.
my I have
Absolutely.
encountered. There's not really a whole lot of behaviors, because I guess more than 9 times out of 10, I'm just more of a nonchalant person. I'm just like whatever. And I think a lot of people
Oh,
hate that. I think a lot of people hate that, that I don't have a reaction a lot of times.
I forgive you for that. I forgive you.
I think a lot of
But no,
people
you do. You lay back. You just lay back.
I think a lot of people have an issue with the fact that I don't react to a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. There's things I will react to. And there's things that I definitely need working on, of course. But
Absolutely, we all do.
overall, yeah, those are like the only ones that I can think of. Uh, that
I mean, mine goes a little in depth than that.
yeah, because I am not as seasoned as some people. I'm not. I haven't been on this earth long enough to experience everything.
you get there. You get there. But no, it's like somebody hurts my family member, a loved one.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
I see it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. That.
Well, then
I
that's
don't.
you just go
I
Batman on
don't
that
know.
person.
That's right. I just don't know. I see this on TV, the courtrooms, and the impact statements, and they do that. I forgive.
Mm-hmm.
This person. I don't know. I hope I never have to experience that, but I don't think I'll be that forgiving
If it yeah,
when it comes to that.
if it's
You know
immediate family, yeah, I'm going in. I'm going in. Like, no, there is no forgiveness there.
that.
It's eye for an eye at this point. It's eye for an eye.
Where I'm at in life right now, I'm pretty much in same boat as you. No, I I just don't see me. I just hope I never have to experience that. But um, I'm not knocking the people that do that.
Mm,
But in some of the cases, I'm curious: is that genuine? Is
no,
there really?
I don't think it is.
This person brutalized your loved one, and you forgive them.
I don't. I don't. They probably put on a good front, but deep down, behind closed doors, they probably trying to. If they could, they mastermind some way to get back at them. I'm 100% certain.
If you hear me say that, and that happened to a loved one,
Mm,
believe me, I'm just saying it.
yeah.
I'm just saying because I've lost people on natural causes, just from natural things, unexpected,
Mm,
situations, and that's a pain that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And to have somebody do something outside of that to somebody I care, it's going to be hard. It'll be hard for me to do so. So that's a behavior, and along with those other things, betrayal, where I got somebody who I think is loyal and find out that they're not, or um, when I'm violated, like my home,
mm,
something like that. Like if I went out, somebody broke into my home, it changes the whole atmosphere of my dwelling. I would have a problem with that, and I would want retribution. Either that person caught, um, and charged to the fullest extent of the law. I'm not going to sit there and that person gets caught and say, well, since I got my stuff back, let
mm.
him go. No, 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 no. So that's where I'm at with that. But I agree, especially the emotional side of it. Somebody talking to a girl that I'm interested in and knew it. Things like you said, absolutely. I'll feel some kind of way about that.
Right.
I might get over it. I might get over that. But the other ones that I mentioned earlier,
Right.
not so, not so much.
And that goes to me, I guess, T wanting that because this is based on a real story. For those of you that don't
Right.
know, based on a real story. So there was a young lady I was interested in. This couple years, like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Young lady was
Right.
interested in. Told my roommate at the time, say, hey, interested in her, blah blase or whatever. She ends up saying that, oh, we're, that I like your roommate, and he,
Laugh. I'm not.
no, it's fine. I can laugh
Okay.
about it
Okay.
now. It's fine
Okay.
because
Okay.
you know what, they're married and they have a kid, so
Okay.
congratulations
Okay.
for them, I guess. But
Right. Right.
it's just the whole
Oh,
situation.
you brought them together.
I don't like to look at it like that. I don't like to look at it like that. Uh, I would never look at it like that. Absolutely not. And so, I did the T1. I was just like, whatever. I stated my piece. He didn't want to advise to my request as far as, because
Stepping back.
basically, no, well, after they started talking or whatever, I was like, hey, this whole thing just went down. I'd appreciate it if you don't have her over here every day or whatever. And
Right.
so basically, it was just a big, two middle fingers to my face, and
Right.
and I was just like, all right, whatever, man. And so I just, to this day, it's like I'm at the. I ran into him maybe once or twice after that whole thing fell out, and I was
Mm.
just like, all right, what's up? What's going on? Just didn't really. It was like, because that kind of showed me who you really
But
were
you
as a
right.
person.
But you forgave.
I did the T1, I guess. Your T1
T
level of
T1.
correct. I was
T1.
like,
Okay. Okay.
I just
Okay.
didn't, or no. First stage was just nonchalant, whatever. I don't care or whatnot.
Right.
Like
Okay.
not stage 5 where I'm like cordial. I'm just like, and so all the people that we knew was like, yeah, he really misses hanging out with you and da da da. And I was like, he did what he did. Hey man, he knows what he did. I'm just gonna keep it
Don't bring
moving.
around the women. Just
Hmm?
don't bring around the women, Tack. Just don't bring around your women.
Look,
That's all.
nah,
You know.
he did what he did. He did what he did, and I was just like, all right. And so that's where that stood. So that's my my little story for the people listening right there. That was pretty much the only one that had a major impact. All the other ones were pretty trivial. It was just stuff you could just like sit down and talk about, but that was really the major one as far as my life so far. That is I could say that somebody that I guess I forgave but didn't deserve it or whatever. Um,
Right.
so,
Yeah. When I got carjacked, um, young, 3 young teenagers,
was this
and
driving the little Ford cars, the ones with the crank handle that you had to pull it?
yeah, that one,
Okay.
that one you got to push start.
Okay.
Now, so and when that happened, and even now, you know how you hope that they change their lives, and I do hope they did, and all that. But for a long time, just the fact that they put that gun in my face,
Mm,
I wish nothing but bad things
mm,
for them, and I mean, I'm still working through that, because you think about it, this just one reaction away from me not being here,
right.
and so and then the fact that what really got me upset and really got me to the point of they just joyride. They didn't take the vehicle, try to strip it down to generate money or income or food for their family. It was just something to do,
Mm,
and that really bothered me. So that hurt in my forgiving process of the whole situation, and having sympathy for their whatever reason they might have to do it, to do what they did.
mm.
So, but I'm working through it. If I see them, if I see that person, I won't.
You be
I just make sure
cordial.
they'll have a gun.
You be
I make sure
cordial.
they'll have a gun. I might punch them.
So you be cordial. So you on stage 5 essential. You on stage 5 of forgiveness. Gotcha.
But yeah, that so like you said, you experience different things in life. In life, if you live it long enough. Now you're gonna go through the emotional side. That Now that is a tough one
Mm,
because that's an emotion. That's your emotion. Me, it was it's emotions, but it was a eye-opening physical life flash in front of you, lack of control of a situation that when you're an adult, that's not a good situation to be in
mm,
because you like to be able to handle or have some control over the outcome or the situation. So I digress. So let's move on into forgiveness thing.
I mean, as far as hmm, who determines who should be, I think 99% of the time, I
And
feel like it's the person who was done wrong should
absolutely.
determine who should be forgiven. I don't. I haven't seen a situation where the person doing the wrong is like, oh yeah, I forgive you, man. Yeah, you know. I have I have yet to see a situation like that, unless it was
They can
just
say that they did you wrong. They say,
mm,
"Hey, man, I'm sorry, I did you wrong." Yeah.
that's not really that
Well,
that
that's the
it
process
say
of forgiving themselves. That's the
I
process of
guess so,
forgiving
but in my
themselves.
mind, I'm like,
That's right.
you're
That's right.
just rubbing it in at this point. You're making a statement, okay? So what you're trying
So
to,
that's how you would take it. That's how you would take it.
yeah.
If I came up to you and said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, I did you wrong," you'd say what?
It's cool. I was like, why you?
I'm doing that for me because I know I did you wrong,
No, I understand it, but you don't have
and
to. Me specifically, because I'm different from everybody's different.
yeah,
I would
that's right.
rather you just internalize that. Don't say it to me because then you're bringing it up because that might be a trigger for me. You say that, and I might
Okay,
I might be swinging on you because it's
that's
especially if it's to that that magnitude or something. It's like, hey man,
that's right.
I'm sorry that I took all your money, man. It's just like, excuse me. All the
Yeah,
especially if it leads to a lot of stuff that you have to go through, like rebuilding
oh
yourself
yes,
up, and there might be a trigger. So
absolutely.
I, I would rather you internalize that, keep it to yourself, and just you know keep it moving. But 99% of the time, it's going to be the person that was done wrong that should determine um, who should be forgiven. There's no yeah. But you can miss me with the did you you can miss me with all that. No, 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 no.
So you would take it. You wouldn't take it. And say, well, okay. Um, it depends with me. If somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry about," it's on me to accept it. I might accept it based on some factors.
Mm,
It has to be why now? Why are you picking now to do it?
exactly.
Yeah, and if if it's something behind that, hey man, I'm sorry.
Right.
Can
That's
I
what I'm saying.
borrow? Can I
That's
borrow?
what I'm saying. It's like why are you bringing it up? Not like keep that to yourself. I'm not trying to.
But if it's a genuine, if it's a legitimate, like, hey, I, I did you wrong. Here's all your money back. Sorry about that, and with interest. I take that a little different. Same
I mean,
same apology.
I'm
It's same
still,
apology,
yeah,
but
but
it's something behind it.
that's a little bit
It's a,
more. That you're adding back what was stolen or taken away from you with interest. But if he just comes up, hey man, I'm sorry, it took all you. It's like you can kick rocks, bro. Like, cause
totally understandable. Totally understandable. I probably would say the same thing. Look, dude, I had to build everything back up. And now you coming to me just telling me you're sorry?
right.
Nah. Nah, that's gonna be hard. A hard one to
And
hard pill to swallow.
I think majority of the times, if something was done, I'm just more of the yo, that's my bad, or something like that. Like maybe
Mhm.
that's more of the non-trivial stuff. But if you're in the wrong, just hey, that's my bad. Like, I'm just like, we cool. It's like, all right. And now of course, it depends on what it is, but 99% of the time, it's just, hey, man, my bad. That's on me. Just own up to it. I'm more of a person, if you own up to it, then, hey, that's a lot better than just sitting there and not saying anything. Just being like, hey, you realize you did something wrong. You don't have to bring up the situation itself, but just be like, hey, man, my bad. That's my bad.
Okay, okay, you make a very good point. Now let's say as we live, we've done somebody else wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In some way, might not be intentional, and I'm not saying all. Me, I feel it's levels of deceit, let me put it, or
Mm-hmm.
anger or whatever, depending on something being knowingly done or something unintentionally done.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if it's unintentional, because we as long as we live, we wrong somebody in some capacity. We probably don't know we did.
Right.
So how would they determine if we are sincere in our forgiveness?
I mean, there's not gonna be a way to determine. That's gonna be on the person.
I expected that from somebody else, though. You see what I'm saying? And so I got to be more realistic in my expectation.
That's gonna be the person who's accepting the apology or whatever the case may be. You can say that you're going with good intentions all you want and you shout to the highest mountaintop, but if the person feels like you're coming across some kind of way, then it's all for naught. So it's not really gonna matter. I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing this with such good intentions, especially if you're trying to like put it on social media or something, like you're trying to make yourself look like a good guy. Nah.
Now you bring up a good point. Social media. Now, what are you trying to get to the person that you wrong? Or are you trying to convince everybody else that or something? Yeah,
They're probably
for
trying.
me,
They're probably trying to convince everybody else. Is like, hey, I'm a good guy. Da, da, da. I'm just like,
yes,
nah.
that's right. That's right. That's how I would take it. If you wrong me, I want you to come to me. I don't want you to blast it out
Right.
to everybody.
Right.
So yeah.
And,
It,
hmm.
go ahead,
No,
say it, Tap, say it,
I'm
Tap.
just saying that there's just now there's so many different layers to go about it, and that's why I'm more of on the fence when it comes to trying to forgive people. I'm just like, no, I don't know if you have some ulterior motive or whatever the case may be.
You have peace in your life. You
I already have
must
peace.
walk in
I
forgiveness.
already
You
have peace.
must
I don't
walk.
have to walk in forgiveness. I was like, I already have peace. I don't need to walk in forgiveness. Walking in forgiveness gets you run back in circle, get you put back in the washing machine and wrung out
That's
the
true.
dry.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it sounds good though. It sounds good. It works in theory. It works in
in
theory.
theory, yeah, exactly, but
Yeah.
it's not applicable in real life. But like, and then when it comes to what's up,
No. It's, what about cheating? Man or
that's
woman cheat.
if they cheat on you, you shouldn't be with them in the first place. That's all I'm saying. Like they obviously didn't have their sights set on you and you alone or whatever your situation is. Now, if you're like,
It could have. Come on, Tech. At first.
nah,
Really?
bro, nah,
You
bro,
don't think they never did?
nah, bro, nah, bro. That's that ulterior motive. That's the ulterior motive. Nah, bro.
Wishing on a star? Yeah, I'm wishing
Exactly.
on a star. Okay.
Exactly. And now, of course, this depends on your situation. Like if you're in
Right.
a non-monogamous or whatever, I don't know if you consider that cheating or whatever, but if you're in
Well,
a
you don't let the other person know. You're
right,
supposed to let each other know in those type
I
relationships.
guess I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm just saying that's the only one I can think of. Is just like where people just
That's how it works.
that's the only one I think of where people are trying to have their cake and eat it too, and I'm just like, okay, you live your best life. No, just hey. I don't know if it could be. I don't think it could be me. Mm-mm.
So
But
you're saying that you couldn't forgive cheating.
absolutely not. Like, why would I want it? No, 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 no. I'm not gonna forgive you for cheating on. No, I'm gonna want you to. I'm gonna depending on the situation. If we're living together, I want you to get your stuff, get out, go find that, go find you an apartment. If it's my house, of course. But like if I moved in with her, then I'd go get an apartment or whatever the case may be. It just depends on the situation. But no, I think that's one of the things you. I mean, maybe later on you could probably do it, but
Right.
in the
Interim?
short term,
Nah,
yeah, no,
nah.
no, 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 no.
Okay. Now are you talking just physical? Are we talking physical or emotional detachment in a sense where she or he might be emotionally attached to someone else? Nothing physical. Is that because would you forgive that type of cheating than the physical type of cheating?
Well, I'm like, then what's the point of me being in a relationship with you if you're not, like if we're not doing this as a team and you're emotionally attached to somebody else, then why am I here? Like, why am I here? That's the thing. Like,
So, so that cheating gonna get the same response
yeah,
as somebody physically cheat?
100%. It should get the same response. I don't. You're at that point. You're wasting your time, and that's one thing that we don't have a guarantee of. It's time.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
why
That's
would
right.
you want to put yourself through that? Think about the larger picture. Oh no, she's gonna come back and shut up, shut up.
Well, I'm a little bit more because the thing is, with time we experience certain things. You get in a relationship, you get in and out of relationships over time, and you realize it's not much different than the one you got out of.
Hmm.
So, and then you deal with people who are damaged or been in other relationships, just like you were damaged. And with that being said, that person's been with other people. It's not like you're virgins.
Hmm.
So there is a level of understanding that I'm not the only one,
Hmm.
especially if it's kids there. So when it comes to cheating emotionally or physically, there's some working through some. I used to be like you. Younger, no, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. You're done. But now, as you get older, you look at it a little differently. You say, okay, she's emotionally away, gone from me. So why is that? You ask the question why. You know, you you try to talk about it, see what's going on. Am I not giving you the attention, or what's going on? The physical, man, that's still tough, no matter what age you are. But what do you if you get out of that one? What are you going to get into? So
Living your best
you
life.
just
Living your best life. That's what you're gonna get into. Focusing
oh,
on
tap is no forgiveness. You cheat, you're done. You're out.
live your best
I,
life. I mean, I understand the talking about the emotional portion. It makes sense. Yes, you should be able to talk about it, but it depends if the person's hiding it from you or not saying
no,
anything
not
about it.
that. That's right. That's right.
Then
Or beating you up with it,
yeah,
like saying you trying to put you down.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
that's
get.
what
Right,
that's what I that's what I was thinking about when you were saying that, for
okay.
clarification.
Yeah.
But most of this stuff should be talked about, of course. Obviously, you have to talk in a relationship. It's not just something you just go on cruise control like a Tesla just drives for you or something. Um, but
Uh,
but yeah, when it's that situation when this person treats me so much better than you, then go be with them. Get out.
you know what? And maybe I agree with that. If you're not happy and there's no way I can do it, make you happy. Hey, let's make both parties happy. Let's move on. Let's move on. But to sit there and if you really care about that person, try to make it work. I mean, because it's not necessarily going to find anything better out.
Mm.
That's, but like you said, live your best life. Live your best life. But
I don't.
just
I've just never heard of like emotional attachment. When I think of cheating, is more so the physical side, or something like that. I I don't think I've ever encountered or seen anybody go through an emotional like something like that. So it's kind of unfamiliar to me.
right.
Um, so when you were explaining it, I'm just automatically thinking like, okay, emotionally attached. Like, shouldn't you be emotionally attached when you're with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever? Like, wouldn't that
Yeah,
so
absolutely. That's how it should be. That's how it should
so
be. But
what is
you think you go.
no, I was just saying, what is like the emotional attachment to the point of like the person spending time with the other person?
Right.
Like,
They're opening up to someone else, not you. They're talking
mm,
about how they feel,
their
what's
situation.
going
Okay.
on in their day, everything. They're letting everybody know those intimate details,
Oh, so
and
basically,
you're outside of it. You're outside of that now.
the person that so basically it's the
It's
per
eventually going to end up physical over there.
right. But I'm
It's just the
saying
beginning stages.
just to get an idea, it's the person that would go to and listen to the girl complain about how her boyfriend treating her bad and all that. Okay, got it. No, excommunicado. She's got to go. Now I know what it is. No, 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 no. Like, why are you
You know where
like?
it's going. You know where it's going.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
that's
you know where
if
it's
it's
at.
already there, there's no
Mhm.
point. There's no I'm not going to try and salvage something like that if you're already talking to somebody about the issues that we may be having or whatever you're going through. If I'm not important enough for you to talk to, then why am I going to try to work on that? Why am I going to try to work on that? No.
A reason why she can't come to you. You might be busy. You might not, be the person that want to even talk about it.
You should, as they say, you should always make time for the people that are important to you,
That's
right?
right.
So
Absolutely.
if that person's
Absolutely.
important to you, you should make time for them, regardless of what it is.
That's
Uh,
right. That's right. That's
so
right.
I'm not. I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna take a saying that I say to all my people online. I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to that. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. So let's say, do we forgive different than you think
100%. Yeah,
women?
that's not even a question. Yes, we forget. That's not even a question. Like, everybody knows us as men forgive differently than women. We
Same scenario: emotional and physical cheating. How do you perceive a woman handling that situation compared to
I
how we
mean,
just talked about?
are we gonna get shut down if I portray how I see a woman asking for
Oh, that's
forgiveness?
just our opinion. What we think.
This
What we
the whole
think.
crying with the makeup on. Bring me back. I want you back. You treated me so well. That's how I think about it when it's because they realize they lost something. They lost something potentially good. So that's how I look at it when it comes to them
Hold
wanting
on, hold on,
forgiveness,
hold on,
or they
hold
try
on.
to, or
We
they try.
cheated. The male cheated.
Oh, we cheated. Okay.
Yeah, we cheated, and
Well, it's still
she has
the
to.
whole crying thing, except there's probably throwing stuff at you or whatever the case may be.
Right, right.
Um,
But do they usually forgive them?
I don't think they do. I mean, if it's to if it's to that one thing that all the women, oh, he's good with, if it's that, I think they forgive because they don't want to have to anything else. I'm sorry that's just how I see it. It's just like, oh, he cheated on me, but when it gets down
Wow.
to when he gets down to business, he does what he needs to do. So I'm gonna forgive him. I'm just like, okay.
So they do. But well, guys say she's a beautiful woman, and and she does everything right, does everything I like, will I forgive?
I think guys and women have the same thing when it comes to forgiveness. It comes down to that one thing, and it's just like, dang, I don't know who I'm gonna. I don't want to have to do this whole search again. So I think that's what it comes down to when it comes to forgiveness. Otherwise, um, I think most of us. I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, when we forgive, it's more of a nonchalant kind of thing. We're not sitting there like, I mean, we may do something special, like as far as asking for forgiveness, but overall I don't think it's I don't think it's anything like um what's the word I'm looking for. I don't think it's anything like out of the ordinary, if that makes sense. So it's more like, we'll go to dinner or something like that, or treat them to dinner, the usual stuff that you would
I'll
that you
buy a
buy a
diamond,
gift,
or
yeah, buy a gift,
buy
yeah,
gifts.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what guys would do. Guys would do. But I think they do handle it different. Like you said, they do handle it different. It's more emotions
Hmm,
probably. Not saying the guy don't cry, because I've seen that too.
right,
Um, but I see also that I don't know how well women forgive.
right.
They might accept it, but you're gonna always hear about it.
Oh
You're
yeah,
gonna always hear. Guys might be thinking about it, but they ain't gonna say it over and over and keep bringing it up. But I think a female tends to, and this is my opinion, keep tends to rub it in.
hmm,
Whenever it's convenient to be, for whatever reason, they'll bring that issue up. You remember that time? You know, you've been out there, like that was 20 years ago, but you did it.
right,
But so the only thing that's the difference. I think the guy, he will sit on it once it's been addressed and and talked about. He'll just, he not saying he don't think about it,
right.
not thinking about it, but he won't just keep bringing it up
Hmm.
in conversation or arguments every time they
And
get
I,
in on.
I I think if it's like that, then why are you once again? Why are you there? Why are you?
Because,
Yeah,
like
no,
you
no.
said,
I hear what you're saying. I'm just that'll make you do dumb things, 100%. But what I'm saying is just looking outside, looking in. Of course, you can say that like,
right,
why are you here? But when you're in it,
right.
is it's totally different. But if they're bringing it up every conversation, or whatever, it's just like at some point you're just gonna be like, I'm sick of you, man. I'm sick of you.
They might not bring it up every conversation, but every argument or any time it's convenient
Mhm.
to make a
Right.
point,
So
or
basically every day.
yeah.
So basically every day. That's what I'm
No,
understanding from you.
no, no.
that's
I hope it's not every day.
that's
That's
what I'm
bad.
understanding from you. Couple
That's
times,
not a
couple
good thing,
couple
Tack.
couple of times a
Tack,
week.
that's not a good thing. No, not
Couple
every
couple
day.
of times
Not
a
every
week. That's what I'm
day.
hearing. But oh man. But
But
as far as us and our pride, because that's a lot of what we hang our stuff on. Um, I
our
do think,
hat,
yeah,
that hat, hang that hat on that. You
I
know
don't.
that.
I think it does have a impact on what we can do as far as beginning, because you don't want to. I tell you right now, the one thing you don't want to do is go back to your friends and say something that happened to you.
Simp. I'm a simp.
That's you don't want to go back to your boys and say something like, no, of course not. So your pride's not gonna let you, you know, get in the way. I mean, you're probably gonna get in the way of you trying to forgive, said person, because you ain't trying to look like no chump. You're
Right.
not trying to look like a chump, like to
Yeah, but so yeah, that's right. You don't want to look bad, but so your friend brings this information to you. and this, let's say, cheating to you, and just like you said, oh man, I got the information, I got the proof. Go home. Your friend probably expect, oh, that's over now, and then you come back and say, oh, we're gonna work through it.
That is the that is the epitome of yeah, that yeah, 100%. I've actually, you know what, now that you say that, I've actually seen that. I've actually seen that happen. And it was during school when I was in college.
Right,
Girl was crazy as all get out. Like
right,
she was very attractive, don't get me wrong. Crazy as
right,
all get
right.
out. And my friend just like, it was like every other month. It was like, yeah, we broke up. Oh, we're getting back together. I was like, dude,
Right.
what do you do? Like we're all sitting here just looking at each other with the side eye, like, man, what's the over under? He's coming back next week. I give it about a 30% chance. No, I'll give him about 70%. And then he comes back. It's like, yeah, we getting back together. Yeah, we kind of figured that was the case.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Hey, it happens. But when you marry, okay, when you marry, your friends go down to a different level.
Mm.
Now, this is your home, and that's a tough one, man. I think our pride does override sometimes.
Yeah, because like you said, you don't want
Yeah,
to sit
yeah,
there
it
at
does. It
guys'
does.
night playing poker. You don't want to sit there. Hey man,
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
remember when you went back to your girl, man? Remember when you ain't trying to get ridiculed.
You better go home because you never know
You don't want to sit there and be ridiculed. Like
who.
who does who does
You
that?
better call first so she can get him out of there before
Exactly.
you get him. Right. You're right. I hear
Exactly.
all the
And
jokes.
that,
You
yeah,
hear all the jokes.
exactly. That's why it's just like that's an easy out. That's an easy dunk.
Well, let's keep people out of your business. That's what you
But how
do.
you
So
gonna do
that way
that
you
if
don't have to look like that.
they your best friend? You got to have somebody to go to. you know they're doing it out of love, of course, but at the same time, there's some truth behind it. Just like people telling jokes.
Right. So okay. What about the scenario where the friend tells you about your significant other,
Mhm.
and then you, because of pride, you call it off. You say, "Hey, this we're done. We're done. We're out of here." And then your friend ends up with her.
Then at that point, then he wasn't really
Is there forgiveness?
absolutely not. It wasn't. If that means he was the mastermind behind the whole thing.
You didn't want to know more.
He was that means he was the mastermind behind the whole thing. Like, listen to that plan. If he tells you that she's cheating,
You got to have proof.
right,
And
but at the same
look.
time, why would if he's not coming to you for your best interest, and he's like, look at you, girls cheating. It's like, first of all, how do you know? Secondly,
That's a good question. Always ask that question. How you know? But I just happened to run into her. How about that?
happen to
I
run
just
into
ran
her
into her
where?
at the at a restaurant with another guy.
What restaurant? Because it ain't one we go to. See, if you know your people, you don't have these issues. Like if you know
I'm
you
not the one married to you. Don't
no.
interrogate me. You know.
But what I'm saying is, you see how these questions,
That's
get
right.
people like they get shook. I'm like,
That's
oh,
right.
like
That's right.
if your people know you,
Mhm.
if they're your quote unquote friends, they know you. They know where you both know where you guys go to hang out, whatever the case may be.
Maybe he was on a date with another girl, and the girl picked this particular place that he did not familiar with, and it just happened to see
But
your significant other with another
but
guy.
here's the thing though. I would hope okay, from the way you made it made it sound like immediately like the next week or something. If he was planning on getting with her or whatever the case may be, I would hope that he would be man enough to come tell me about it first before just trying to slide in the DMs. Like if you're man enough to tell me, I'm not gonna sit there and cut you off communication wise because you're still my boy. Like
But what
you
about your pride?
pride is not going to get in the way of my best friend.
Okay.
Pride's not going to
Okay.
get in because I would expect the same common courtesy. Granted, I wouldn't do that to my friend. That'd just be
I
me.
wouldn't do it either. Yeah, I
But
wouldn't either.
if he's supposed to be a good friend, he would at least come to you and be like, hey, we may be talking or whatever the case may be. Then blessings to you by all means. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I mean, that's wasted time and years of that
But you'll
friendship.
stop talking to her.
Yeah. 100%. As they say, bros over, right?
Oh man,
As they say, right?
the woman you married, But I
But
get
if
it. I
she's
get it. There's a
cheating,
lot of feelings hurt there. It's
if she's cheating,
betrayal.
then I mean, at the same time, if she cheated on me, what makes you think that she's not going to cheat on you? So
Yeah,
you have my
yeah,
blessing. By all means, you have
yeah.
my blessing. I would just hope that you're man enough
Yes.
to come tell me that you wanted to talk to her or see her or whatever. Because I don't want to sit there and go to a gathering and then she just pulls up and I'm like, the hell you doing here?
Oh, I'm married to him. Oh, what? Oh yeah, yeah. That'll work. Yeah, but like I said, those scenarios play itself out. It can happen. So with the pride thing is how we handle it, what we want to. Sometimes pride can be your downfall.
Yeah.
Just don't let pride be your downfall. If you know you love this woman or you love this man, he's not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Mhm.
So, and if you think that person is worth it, at least try to fight for it. And if it doesn't work, then you just move on. But you did all you could do.
Right. And as far as the forgiveness thing, when and this ties back to what I was saying earlier. If somebody says like my bad, like sorry,
Okay.
my bad, as long as they're not bringing up like the whole issue,
I slipped and I fell. Right?
like the whole situation, I'm like that helps with that
Yeah.
whole forgive. I 100% believe that helps with the forgiveness as long as you're not bringing up previous traumas or whatever, because it might be, like I said, it might be a trigger for that person. You bring, oh my bad for taking all your money, you know what I mean, like that.
Ask you a question. I was just bringing the pride. You get off work, you
Uh-huh.
come home, and you walk in the door, and your friend is sitting in the house with your wife.
Okay.
You won't
i
see
wouldn't
anything
i
in there.
I wouldn't think anything about it because I would expect him to respect me as his
Mhm.
friend, and also I would hope that my wife has people she can go to in the event I may not be there. Like if something happened to me, like call up.
Why couldn't they call you and tell you that he was
Like
there?
if I'm indisposed, like in the hospital or something, and I can't physically.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would want her to know, at least my best friend, so that way, like how when the people come over, oh hey, such and such such.
See, you value friendship
Yeah, one hundred
very
percent.
high. Yeah, you value that, and I wish I did.
100%.
I- it's to a limit. It's to a
Mhm.
limit.
Right.
It's
Uh,
you got a high limit.
I look at, well,
Ah,
I don't have like, I'm not saying I have a bunch of friends, but it's just like maybe
right.
one or two, and I would hope that they would be, because I don't want it to be awkward if I was with
That's right.
somebody and they hate my
Mhm,
best friend. It's just like,
mhm.
because then it's just like I
Yeah,
can't bring you around when we're going to go do like fun stuff as a group because she doesn't,
right,
you know
right.
what I mean?
Gotcha.
That's what I'm looking at. The bigger picture is like I'd rather you get
Mhm.
along that way. If something was to happen or you needed something and I'm not here, like there's physically no way I can be there to get it for you. Like hit him up, see if they like picking up the kids or something like that. Like I don't know. just like a one-off thing. Like I can't because I'm overseas doing a project or something. Like I physically cannot be there, and she's doing whatever it is that makes her happy, as far as like maybe working on a side hustle or something like that. That's how I'm looking at it. Not saying that it should be all the time, but I would want her to be comfortable with my friend, as far as like being able to go to them if something was to happen, if that
So
makes sense.
do you think they see you in that light, that same light?
100%.
I mean, I know who I am. They can trust me because I'm not going to do that.
Right.
There's certain things I don't cross. I'm not crossing that
Right.
line. But do they see you like that?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Like that's not even a question. That's not
Okay.
even not
Okay.
even a question.
Because there's some people just loyal, and I take pride in being loyal
Mhm.
to my friends.
Right.
Female or male. I take pride in that. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna do the right thing. And if it's an awkward situation, I'm gonna get out of it.
Right.
I'm gonna step out. I'll wait for him. I'm gonna be in the car. I'm gonna go down the street to the bar and have a drink before he comes or something like that.
Right.
I'm not, if the situation just doesn't feel right. Nah, I got to get out. I'm not gonna put my friendship in question or my integrity in question.
Right. And
So
that's all you could really ask for your friend,
that's
your
right.
people that
That's
you
right.
associate with or whatever. But yeah, that's how I look at it. It's like I look at it
Mhm.
from like those movies that you see where the boys are best friends, and then he comes over like middle of the day and y'all are all
Mhm.
let's go. Like that's how I look at it. That's how I would want
Right.
it to be. And it's like we're
That,
all good. We're
that's
all cool.
fantasy.
Look, you say that. You just got to have the right people around.
That's true. That's true.
But the unilateral
Okay.
forgiveness though, saying is, I mean, you should always say you shouldn't, the person shouldn't have to ask you to apologize if you have common sense and and a good understanding of what
The
happened.
unilateral forgiveness.
If you
Yeah.
have an understanding of what happened and you have common sense, you should always be like, you should man up, as they say, man up and be like, yo, that's my bad. I'm sorry. Like if you realize you did something, then of course you should not, you can go out your way if you want. Going out your way, of course, speaks leaps and bounds about your character, but
You said something about don't come to me with it.
no,
Don't
no,
bring it
no,
back.
don't
So
bring up the issue. If you
okay,
come to
understand.
me and you're like, yo, that's my bad, or something like that, I'd be like, okay,
Right.
we're cool, whatever. But
Okay.
if you're gonna be like, yo, my bad, I'm sorry, I took all your money, and go into detail, I'm like, I'm not trying to hear all that. I'm not sure.
What did leave you out of everything?
Yeah, it's just like, yo, my bad.
Oh,
And so,
yeah. How it's some forgiveness that don't need to be said. You can see the emotion side of it, and just like a female who does something wrong, and you just see it tearing them up. They can't keep their emotions in check, and a simple hug and embrace, and saying it's all good.
mm,
So she's hurting. She's sad about the situation, and she didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. You just the embrace, the acknowledgement, and you move on.
right.
Um, that don't happen too often, but it can happen.
And like I said, that speaks, a lot of it is basically around your character. Like if you
Right.
are a upstanding person, right from wrong. Like if you did something you didn't realize you did it, then of course I feel like the
That's
person
right.
should speak up and say something. Like if you did it without knowing, but if you did something and you did something,
Mhm.
if you went out of your way to apologize to the person, then If you went out of your way to apologize to the person, that speaks leaps and bounds about your character and your integrity, like who you are as a person. Depending, of course, depending on what it is. Like if you cheated, then that just the
Yeah,
case.
just like that scenario. Like I said, somebody your friend, comes home and you don't know what's going on, and somebody you might know, you might not know,
Mm,
and you're waiting for him at his house. He was running late or whatever, and you're there, and he comes in, and now he's kind of short with you or whatever. You say, "Hey, man, hey, I apologize. I just, it was good before. I was just sitting here waiting on you, drinking a beer, one of your beers or whatever."
mm,
And so you're apologizing, not knowing that you did something. You just did something as usual.
mm.
So is that, I see that as a unilateral forgiveness. If he says, okay, yeah, man, we good. It's just a lot going on now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that goes to the
Yeah.
person giving the forgiveness because they have to realize whatever's going on with them. Then just like, okay, we're good. That's
Right.
that's your boy. You shouldn't be like, get out.
Right.
Like,
Right. When you got an attitude with me, I'm out of here, forget you, like that. No,
right,
no. Hey, you got a problem, let me know and we can talk about it and we go from there. So yeah, it that happens more than not. And those usually are the ones that you got a strong bond, you got
right,
a good bond there. And it's hard to break those type relationships up when you got that. Doesn't have to be said. It's known that
right,
this person feels a certain way, and
right. And it's one of those friendships where where everybody looking
yeah,
outside looking in, be like, dang, they just mean. Like, but y'all be saying everything under the sun to each other, but at the end of the day, that
right.
like.
Somebody else say like, "What?" Both parties looking at him like, "What are you talking to?" Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, but that's my take on forgiveness. I think that you know forgiveness for the most part is the one you forgive yourself. That's the one that's gonna have probably more health consequences, physical consequences if you don't do that,
Mm,
and mental issues. But forgiveness as a whole is a good thing. It helps you grow. Just
you hope.
hopefully you don't have a lot of fertilizer. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be out here forgiving everybody, or somebody shouldn't be doing stuff to you that you have to use it all the time. It
Right.
should be rare. So that's my take.
But a lot of people don't have those qualities that should be instilled on them. So it is what it is. It is
That's
what it is at the end of the day. And it all falls on you to whether or not you want to forgive them, because they can do whatever it is they want to do to ask for forgiveness. But if you don't forgive them, then it's all for naught. But
right.
yeah, I hope you all enjoyed today's
I enjoy
podcast. I'm
it.
sure you're probably gonna be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about." I've seen some things. If I could sit you down for about an hour and tell you my life, you'd be like, "Whoa!" But we hope you all enjoyed it. Be
Enjoy the
sure
conversation as
to
well, Tat.
be sure to hit the thumbs up button, all that stuff, so we can get this video out there, get more people watching these episodes. Um,
Yeah. And with the forgiveness, if you got a story, a small tidbit about forgiveness or your opinion, please drop us a line. Hey, I got a small room of stuff I can still learn. It's no. But no, it's good. We appreciate your feedback and thank you.
yep. But that's gonna do it for us. We will see. Actually, yeah, we'll see you next week. Same thing. Yeah, nothing's really changing. All right. Yeah. So we're out of here, everybody. We'll see you later.
All right. All right.
Later.
All right.